So, my friend and I have been close for a few years, and she recently got engaged. About a week ago, she sent me a DM inviting me to a small costume party to celebrate her engagement. I asked if there was a theme, and she said no. Now, I'm a cosplayer, so I had a lot of options to choose from. I didn't want to show up in some random anime outfit, so I thought it would be hilarious to go to an engagement party dressed as the corpse bride. Blue paint, wedding dress, the whole thing. I thought it was perfect. I showed up at her place and everything seemed totally normal. A few people even complimented my costume. I was having a great time. But then, about 10 minutes in, her fiancé walked out in a black tuxedo and announced that apparently my friend had seen a video of someone doing a surprise wedding disguised as a party and wanted to do the same thing. My stomach dropped. I was standing there, in a full wedding dress, at a wedding. I immediately went up to him and asked if I should run home and change. I could be back before the ceremony even started. He looked at me and said it was fine, since I obviously didn't know. So, I trusted him. I followed everyone to the backyard. They got married. It was beautiful. But the whole time, my friend wouldn't look at me. At the reception, she kept making excuses not to talk to me. I figured she was just tired from the big day, so I gave her space. If you're enjoying this story, make sure you hit subscribe, because it's about to get so much worse. I got home, and about 30 minutes later, my phone blew up. It was my friend, cussing me out, telling me I ruined her wedding. I was completely blindsided. I asked what I did, and that made her even angrier. She said it was basic knowledge to never wear a wedding dress to a wedding. I reminded her that I had no idea it was a wedding, and that I'd asked her husband if I should change, and he said it was fine. She didn't respond. But then, I got a text from her husband. He asked me why I would tell her he said it was fine. I said, because you did say it was fine. And then he flipped it on me. Said I should have changed anyway, and that it was my fault they were now fighting about it. I tried texting her to apologize. I told her I was sorry, and that if I'd known, I never would have worn it. I woke up the next morning, and both of them had blocked me on everything. Just like that. A friendship, gone. Over a costume I didn't even know was a problem. Now, here's where things take a completely different turn. I need to tell you about what happened with my own wedding. Because this story, it gets dark. I was engaged to a man I loved from the bottom of my heart. We had everything planned. The venue, the date, my dress, my beautiful wedding dress. And then, his mother got her hands on it. She tried to put it on, knowing full well she didn't fit in it. And she destroyed it. Ripped the sheer back to shreds with her fake nails. Tore the tulle on my train. Shattered the beading. She mutilated my dress. My fiancé confronted her by phone and asked her to help cover the damages. She refused. Called it an accident. Said she was just trying to help. And then, she actually had the nerve to say she was giving me a standard to aspire to. And she admitted she just wanted to feel as young and beautiful as me. The worst part? He believed her. My fiancé believed that load of crap. We went to the seamstress together, and the assessment was devastating. The dress was completely trashed. Beyond repair. Every part of it, destroyed. But what enraged me even more than the damage was my fiancé's reaction at the seamstress. He kept minimizing everything, pointing out how certain things could have been an accident. And then, he lied. He told the seamstress the dress had an accident when his mother tried to relive her model days. I corrected him right there. I said no. She put it on without my permission, knowing she didn't fit into it, and she deliberately destroyed it. Smash that like button if you think this mother-in-law was out of her mind, and tell me in the comments what you would have done. When we got home, I told him I wanted to sue her for damages. He tried to tell me the cost of the dress didn't meet the threshold for a lawsuit. So I went straight to the internet. I posted on legal advice. I Googled the thresholds for small claims court in Virginia. I printed every single response I got, and I forced him to read them. He finally conceded that she owed us something, and called her, with me sitting right there. He argued with her for all of 5 minutes, and then she broke down sobbing. She accused him of not loving her. Called me trash for turning him against her. asked how money could be more important than her love for him. And I sat there, watching, as he soothed her. He told her he understood. He said I was just being super emotional about the dress, and that paying for it would help it blow over. She kept sobbing, and he told her he'd talk to me. Then he hung up, turned to me, and said all he wanted was peace. He asked me to just let him pay for the dress and let it go away. I lost it. I screamed at him. I cried harder than I have probably ever cried, because I realized he took her side over mine. I told him it was never about the dress. It was about him choosing his mother over the woman he's supposed to spend his life with. I told him if he genuinely believed this was about an overpriced dress, then we needed to cancel the wedding, and he and his mommy could have a nice vacation to Colombia without me. We argued, and like always, he told me he saw my point. I told him I didn't want her at the wedding, and shockingly, he agreed. The next day I sat right next to him while he called her, and told her she was no longer invited. She screamed. She sobbed. She said he can't do this. And he hung up on her. I actually felt proud. I started to think maybe I was wrong about him. Maybe he really could stand up to her. Maybe we could get through this. That is, I don't hear me. Until I was on our shared iPad. I barely ever use it, but my Kindle was dead and my phone was out of reach. And while I was scrolling, a message popped up. From his mother, asking about discounted flights to Colombia. I scrolled through the messages, and there it was. He had folded the very next day. He told her he only disinvited her for my sake, but he still wanted her at the wedding. He said he'd slowly work on changing my mind, and by the weekend of the wedding, I'd either forgive her or just have to deal with it. I lost my mind. I actually packed my bags. He ended up being the one to leave and stay with a friend while I stayed in the house. The fight was not pretty. The wedding is off. We're still together, still engaged, but things are very strained. We've both committed to couples therapy because it's the only option left. He's gone no contact with his mother. He's turned over all his passwords and the iPad so I can check his messages whenever I want. And trust me, I'm checking. His mother is fuming. She's been trying to spin this into me being some trashy, greedy woman who's determined to bring nothing but misery into her precious baby's life. She's shown up at our house multiple times trying to collect her baby and his belongings. I haven't answered the door. I love him. I really do. And the only thing stopping me from walking away is that I can see how much this is hurting him too. But while his mother is in the picture, I just don't think I can do this. I'm going through his emails and messages looking for secret contact from her. And I can't even begin to explain how messed up that is. So that's where we're at. The wedding is postponed. Deposits be damned. Trust has to be rebuilt from the ground up. And if anyone asks, I tell them the entire story. This has been the worst month of my life. Please, wish us luck in therapy. I'm having a hard time keeping my hopes up. If this story broke your heart the way it broke mine, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss one. And tell me in the comments, do you think he deserves another chance? Or should she walk away for good?